You make my world a better place.
Yes!
We'll get you walking again soon.
That's good.
I can depend on you.
Even though it doesn't look like it, this is sea turtle country. So today I'm going out with a team that's on the very front line when it comes to helping out our ocean wildlife. But apparently how they do their work, it's a little bit different.
Chris is joining a World Wildlife Fund survey team in North Queensland.
This is more like it. We've got water.
The coastal waters here are home to 6 of the world's 7 species of turtle, but they're finding their habitat increasingly under threat.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
It's like you're waiting for me. How are you?
Welcome
Hey,
on
lovely
board.
meeting, Chris.
Yeah, you too.
G'day.
Today, Chris is helping Ian and Christine, along with 2 other crews, collect important data from the area's native green turtle population.
Come on board and let's get kitted up.
All right.
Turtles are a magical species. You know, they've been around for billions of years, and they also tell us a story about what's happening in the reef. Being able to protect their habitat and them into the future is really important.
What we're looking at is how coastal pollutants are affecting turtle health. Everything that's accumulating in here into this ocean, turtles and wildlife are feeding off that, and we want to work out what is happening to those turtles and the greater ecosystem.
So how do we actually find the turtles out here?
So the way that we do it is we actually look from the front of the boat and
Yep.
stand actually up on the bow.
But once we actually see them, how do we then get them?
So the rodeo technique's been used for decades, and
The rodeo technique.
rodeo technique. On the skipper's call, you're actually going to launch out off the boat while the boat is still going, and you've got to try and get in front of it, catch its carapace, its shell, particularly behind the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Get a good handhold on it and bring it up to the surface.
Wow. When Christine first mentioned a rodeo, honestly, I thought she was joking, but this is serious. The timing of my dive has to be absolutely perfect, and my cowboy skills have to be up to scratch. Otherwise, I could very easily lose some of these.
Yep. Right there, right there.
So I've seen one.
Ready when you are.
All of a sudden, the call comes through from Ian. There's a turtle, and we are go.
Now.
Got it. Well done. Wow. Amazing technique. That is incredible.
This one, let's go.
As expected, the first catch of the day goes to Christine. The bar has now been set.
This is a really, a fat,
Yeah, it is.
happy little turtle.
You're looking good, buddy. Hey, you're actually in pretty good nick. You didn't expect that, though, didn't you? Everything's suddenly become very clear as to why this is a turtle rodeo.
Absolutely.
That's dramatic, isn't it?
It is. Are you keen to give it a go?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent.
I've seen Christine do her thing, and she does it well.
12 o'clock. Right there, right there.
So now the pressure's on me to deliver similar results.
Hang on.
Yeah. It's just a bit sad. Yeah, not usually like this. Are you, buddy?
Sarah has come into Sash with 4-month-old Yoda, alarmed that the young pup has been vomiting and has diarrhoea.
Poor little Yoda, he's just been really sick on the stomach, just not as excited as what he usually is. He's usually really excitable and bouncy, and just none of that for the past couple of days, not wanting to eat or drink, just, not himself.
Dr. Laura Musgrove will be the emergency vet treating the little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Hi, I'm Laura, how are you? Laura. And who is this? Yoda. Hi, Yoda. Oh, that's nice. Are you excited to see me?
Oh dear, he's looking a bit sorry for himself.
Yeah, he's not feeling too good.
Not feeling too good, buddy.
Yoda is a Black and Tan Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and to me, they're just my favourite dogs in the whole world. They hold a very special place in my heart because my late dog was also a Black and Tan Cavy. So when I see him, I see a lot of her in him, and it just brings all those emotions back. Would you want to come through with me and we'll have a little chat and see if we can work out what's going on?
Wonderful.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Thank you.
Okay, come on then. Yoda's looking pretty flat right now for a puppy. I'd expect him to be bouncing around, so he's really feeling quite sorry for himself, and I think it's quite important that we get to the bottom of this really quickly.
The family has had the mischievous pup for just 6 weeks.
Bit scared that he may have eaten something he shouldn't have. Yesterday when we got home, we'd had the lounge cushions from the outdoor furniture, and he'd practically tore one of them up. It was from one end of the house to the other.
Do you know what's inside?
It's like foam.
Like foam, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, let's have a little look in. Do you think you can wake up, Yoda?
I know.
It's time to have a little look. I'm going to do a physical exam on Yoda. Really, I'm going to be concentrating on what it feels like in his abdomen, if there's any pain there, and also we'll be checking his temperature because that will also give me an indicator if we've got an infectious cause of his diarrhea and his sickness.
He has been whimpering.
Okay.
When he was laying on the lounge, he was kind of whimpering every time he moved.
Okay.
So
You're not a happy puppy, are you?
No.
Not a happy boy. Oh. Looked like he was going to vomit then, didn't he?
He's not feeling good, I know that.
No.
Where? Go.
Chris has joined a World Wildlife Fund survey team off the North Queensland coast.
It's 2-0.
It's on. Game on.
They're catching green turtles so they can collect data for an important study on the local marine population.
The strategy, as Chris tells me, is to jump down a little bit ahead of the turtle. By doing that, by the time you actually hit the water, the turtle's caught up to your hands and it should appear magically in your grasp.
It stopped. Went out the back.
So it turns out the champion turtle catcher is fallible after all. Just makes me feel better that you missed one.
So you're up?
I believe so, yeah.
Excellent.
So now it's time for me to earn my stripes. Only problem is, there's no turtles.
We went through a little bit of a hot spot here, so yeah, we've got 2 on board and we chased another couple and...
Right in front, right in front.
Hang on a second, gotta go. Hang on. It's gone left, Chris, it's cut left underneath. There it is, gone right.
The speed these turtles generate is something else. Plus they have an extra thing we don't really have. That's agility.
Just down in front there, Chris. Just going left a bit, going in front of the boat. Don't go.
We're weaving trying to match the movements of the turtle and hopefully position ourselves just behind and to the left of this moving animal.
Now.
The call comes from Ian, go. I leap out, hoping my arms are going to reach down and grab the turtle. Unfortunately, it's not to be. Beginner's luck, that's not happening today. I just don't think I jumped far enough ahead. I think I was kind of on top of it, and by the time it was underneath me, it was already in front of me, you know, it was...
And I think it actually turned as you jumped as well, so it took a bit of a turn.
Took a turn for the worst, and you didn't have your feet together.
We're being harsh, aren't we?
I'd have given it a 3.
3 out of 10. I thought when I got back in the boat, there'd be consoling pats on the back, everyone saying, come on, mate, you'll be right, you'll get it next time. No, that's not exactly how it works around here.
All right, you're up again.
There's one way to make up for it, isn't there? It's cool here.
Good boy. Thing is, if he has eaten foam, it'd be quite difficult to feel.
At SASH, emergency vet Dr. Laura Musgrove is trying to work out why little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Yoda is so unwell.
He's actually not uncomfortable in there, which is good.
Yeah.
Can we just stand up, little man, so I can have a proper feel? I know it's hard work standing up, isn't it? Yoda has had diarrhea and sickness, and anything could have caused that, particularly because he's been eating a sofa. You know, we're worried that there might be an obstruction there, but we can't rule out other causes, such as Parvo virus, because of his age and because he's not fully vaccinated. He's not sore at all.
No.
You know what's coming next? It's the temperature time.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Don't look at me now. He's not going to want to stay with me after this. Can we just stand you up? Stand your little bottom up. All right, my flower. Good boy. Not even resisting that too much, are you, sweetie? Hey? So when dogs swallow things that they shouldn't, really they can get stuck anywhere along the gastrointestinal tract. So the next step for him is we're going to take some pictures of his abdomen and see if we can see any foam lurking around. So I'll pop him in this one up here.
Sarah will have to say a reluctant goodbye so Laura can carry out tests on the little pup in the hope of finding out why he's going downhill.
Look. Love you. See you tomorrow. Okay. Love you, buddy. Okay. Gonna lay down?
Okay, little one.
Okay, sweetie. Love you, mate. That was really hard. Yeah, wasn't expecting that at, having him for 6 weeks and then having to leave him. So yeah, that's pretty hard. Yeah, not nice.
No tears.
Yep. No, I'm okay. Bye, mate.
Hey, Timmy, check out what I've just picked up. You're not going to believe this.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Bill has turned up with a most unusual creature for Tim to examine.
What is it? Wow, look at that. Oh, holy moly. Come and have a look at this, ladies. Oh. Do you know what it is? It's a little echidna, a puggle. Billy's just come into the office. Tim, come look at this. He's got a baby echidna. I've worked in zoos 17 years. I've only ever seen one before. You know what these are up here?
That have to be its ears.
They're its ears. So because it's in the dirt, they don't have, an opening, but that just catches like a satellite dish.
Absolutely adorable. It was the sweetest little thing I've ever seen. I don't think I'd ever come across one of those before, and so when I first saw one, amazing.
Are the spines spiky?
Well, have a feel.
A little bit.
Try go the other way.
Oh, you can't.
It was absolutely crazy seeing it. Was like nothing I've ever seen before, like out of this world.
What's the story, Bill?
The machine operator up near Devilark is disturbed, obviously, where Mum's burrow is and found a little baby.
Burrow's destroyed. There's no chance for it to go back.
Oh, it's completely destroyed. So, and Mum's nowhere to be seen, so...
OK, they've done the right thing. Better than leaving him there. Billy says that it was dug up by a machine, so they've destroyed the nursery burrow. Mum's out somewhere. She comes back at irregular intervals, and this little baby's been exposed. Thankfully, it wasn't crushed. It looks good, a bit thin. Face is all clean, no bruising.
The baby echidna, or puggle, has had a lucky escape. But without its mother to care for it, Tim realises keeping it alive will be extremely difficult.
What do you want to do?
Look, I mean, it needs to be hand-reared. It's about 90 to 100 days old. And remember, this hatches from an egg. Yeah, we're talking a monotremes. So Mum lays an egg, incubates the egg, it hatches, small and pink, and now we're looking at something that's a few months old.
How does it get its mum's milk then?
Well, unbelievably, she has no teat. She has a mammary gland that it pushes its nose against, and the milk comes out like we'd sweat, and it drinks it. And get this, it only eats every 5 to 8 days. Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Look at the tongue.
Oh, so beautiful.
Look at it. The first thing that goes through my mind, it's fun, everyone having a look and the excitement. I'm excited. But there's a realisation that he has to be hand-reared. He's lost Mum, he's on his own now. There's going to be challenges.
So he'll survive without his mum?
Could, as long as there's been no damage to him, or him or her. We're in with a fighting chance. We got to get it to start drinking milk, get it out of this bucket and into a home, and we got a fighting chance just like anything else.
Come on, Mr. Yoda, let's see what you've been doing.
Oh.
Okay. What have you been chewing?
What have you been chewing?
Oh, you're lucky you're very cute.
Let's hope there's nothing in there, little pal, hey?
Good boy.
Come on
let's
then.
go and see what we can
Come on.
find.
At Sash, little furniture eater Yoda is
Come on then,
about
little
to
man.
be x-rayed to see if there's any sign of the foam stuffing from the chewed up family sofa.
Very brave.
You're very brave. It's time to lay on this table for us now. When dogs eat things that they shouldn't, it depends on the size of the object, but ultimately it could get stuck anywhere along their gastrointestinal tract. Sometimes they pass it, sometimes they don't, and in that case, we're gonna have to go in and operate. Okay, all good?
All good?
Okay.
Well, just turn the light off so it's beautiful. Lovely.
Vet nurse Mark is assisting Dr. Laura Musgrove with the tests.
Happy? All good? Cool. Perfect. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Okay. It's not looking horrific, which I'm really pleased about. There's nothing really obvious there. There's no foam. We've got a bit of gas. Yeah, maybe in his colon. It's always difficult to tell when it's bundled up like that, and you can see the same here. It's really difficult with foam because, you know, it's not a solid object, so it may not show up. And tricky. Yeah.
With no definitive conclusion from the x-ray, Laura wants to see if a virus may be causing Yoda's symptoms.
Particularly because of his age and his vaccination status, I am quite worried about him having Parvo virus. And this is a really dangerous virus that's highly contagious. And in the worst case scenario, they can die from it, generally because they get so dehydrated and so poorly very quickly. Oh, be a brave little boy. Oh, I know. Oh, well done. Okay, so we've just done the snap test for the Parvo virus. So what I've done is just put a few drops into this little test here, and now we have to wait 5 minutes for the results to come through.
While waiting for the test results, Laura is anxious to start prepping Yoda for a drip so she can get him onto rehydrating fluids as soon as possible.
Okay, guys, so we're all good. It's a negative for Parvo virus, so that's actually a really good sign. So I think we'll just get him on the fluids and let's see how he goes.
Okay.
Okay? Thank goodness for that.
I'm thinking of a name already.
What is it?
Well, we don't know if it's a boy or girl for at least a year. But maybe Eddie the Echidna, and if it turns into a girl, we'll go Edwina.
Edwina. Could still be Eddie then.
A baby echidna or puggle has arrived at the Australian Reptile Park after surviving a close encounter with earth-moving equipment that destroyed its burrow.
Physically, the puggle looks fine. I can't see any bruising, there's no obvious abrasions. I think he's been very lucky. Pop it on here, you watch its mobility. Watch, it can't walk. It's not ready for that, it's developing now.
He looks like an adorable little baby elephant to me, personally. He just looks a little bit confused. He can't walk properly.
It's wobbly. So if this was out from a burrow now, fox, cat,
Easy.
gone.
So it won't need a pouch?
No, at this age, it's left its mum's pouch and it stays in the burrow. So what I need to do is make somewhere like a burrow that it can bury, keep it at a cool temp where it can just ball up, go into a torpid state between feeds, and let's see how he or she is tracking in a few weeks. We've all had a look, fun and games are over. Now I want to get him set up, settled to the right temperature and start the process of hen rearing. Now what are we going to find you for a home, little mate? Hey? You're meant to be in a burrow, not a bucket. I'm in new territory today. I've read and I've learned all about hen rearing echidnas, but never had to do it. Now this looks good for an echidna. What do you think, mate? Hey, Eddie? What do you think? I found the right enclosure for Eddie. It's ventilated, but it's deep, it's dark. Now I need to make the burrow. He needs dirt, bit of sand, and importantly, it must be dry. You wait here, pal. I'm gonna get you some dirt, some sand, make a nice, deep, cool burrow, and I'll be back in a second.
Yes,
Yep.
Chris is in North Queensland catching green turtles for a survey into the health of the local population. After a failed first attempt, the pressure is on. The team needs to catch as many as possible.
I've learned a lot from the first miss, so now it's time to change a few things and go back for round number 2. I'm in the water, my hands are grasping out, but it is a miss. The boat, they don't even hang around. They're off.
When you're ready.
Ian's decided he's going to catch this turtle. Annoyingly, Ian, who I thought was just the boat driver, also catches turtles. Better than I do. I touched it then.
Well, that's good. So you did the pads?
Again, just wasn't far enough ahead of it.
Is it easy to catch a turtle? I don't think so. I think many people have tried and think that it's going to be an easy thing to do, but no, it's not. It's actually quite challenging.
Wow, that's bigger.
Yeah, so this is a real target one for us because this one would have now been in this foraging ground for somewhere between 15 and 25 years, accumulating what is entering the environment, what people are putting down their sinks, what people are putting on their gardens, all ends up in the ocean eventually. We've got 6 out of 7 species of marine turtles in our backyard, and the majority of them are in decline. I think that's a cause for concern, and I think we really need to be mindful about what we do as humans and how we impact not only turtles but all wildlife.
Okay, good
You're
work,
up.
team.
There's still one issue.
There is.
The fact I'm wet and don't have a turtle. The simple fact is we have to get in and grab these turtles as quickly as possible. The tide's dropping and time is running out. So I just go straight back to the bow of the boat and get into the jump position.
Oh, there it is. Just
Where?
there. It's going pretty slow.
Got it. Ready?
Now I can feel the pressure building. It's a mixture of adrenaline and stress. I have to make the next jump, otherwise I've officially let the team down.
I'll bring you in a bit more and go.
You're almost set, pal. You wait in there. I'll be back in 1 minute.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim is making a baby echidna a place to live after its home in the wild was destroyed.
Perfect. This dirt's perfect because it's dry. Moisture and humidity can give him a respiratory infection, perhaps pneumonia. So a female echidna, she digs a burrow, and the temperature in that burrow is between 18 and 23 degrees. I'm used to keeping mammals and birds, reptiles at 35 degrees. The challenge is to make an environment that stays cool. This is the perfect start. Dirt, a little bit of sand, and he'll have his home.
If baby Eddie is to survive, Tim needs to get every element of his new home right.
It's my challenge to find the right area that the temperature will stay beneath 23 degrees. That's not easy. Then I've got to have dirt that's dry, that he can dig in. I'll perhaps place a towel on top so he feels secure and just try and get him comfortable. How you going, little man? Got you a home. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, what's up, Tim?
Come and have a look at this. We've got a home for someone. Dry dirt, it's a burrow. Got to be kept at 20 degrees.
What is it?
Something you won't have seen.
Oh my God, what is that?
This is Eddie the echidna.
No way.
Kyle walks past and I give him a yell. I know that he hasn't seen a puggle before, and when he does, he's blown away.
This is amazing.
Now, see these? This is his ears.
Is it?
You see all the features on these that you wouldn't see on a big prickly adult.
No, seen plenty of adults, but never seen anything like this. Didn't think in my lifetime I would see a baby echidna. To see one at that size, there's no words to explain it.
The critically important thing for its survival is that this burrow is like the wild.
To ensure Eddie doesn't overheat, Tim will use a thermometer to monitor the pug's new home.
So, I'll put one probe in the dirt. I'll put one probe in here. Now, you see, we're already sitting at about 23 degrees. So I have to find somewhere that can get that down to 21.
As well as temperature, Tim will need to keep a watchful eye on Eddie's weight.
Can you pop him in there, please?
Yep. Just straight down?
Yep, straight in.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, we're at 550 grams. Weighing all of our animals, especially orphan wildlife, is critically important. Today, Eddie's weight will set a benchmark. I'll now monitor against that. I don't want him to lose weight. Needs to go up. Let's pop him in there.
But temperature remains the critical factor.
Do you think he'll burrow straight down if you put it in, or try to?
I think that he'll probably burrow down a bit, but today's warm, so I don't think he'll necessarily go down in the dirt. He'll try and stay cool. But look at the challenge, mate.
23 and 22.
It's already too hot. Over that, 25 degrees, it can die.
Got it. Ready?
In North Queensland, Chris is feeling the pressure as he makes his third attempt to wrangle a turtle.
I'll bring you in a bit more and go.
Let's be honest, the dive wasn't exactly graceful, but all that matters is there was a turtle in my hands. I got one, and that's a start. With one now under my belt, I go back to the front of the boat with a bit more confidence.
Right there, right there.
Again, the call comes, and we're off.
There it is, right there, right there. Hang on, hang on, hang on. That's going to be a handful, Chris. It's a big boy. Right. Ready? Yep. Go.
This turtle is much bigger than the last one I dealt with, so just slowing him down is an effort.
Got to get it vertical. That's it.
Getting him vertical feels impossible. Thankfully, after a lot of struggling, I get his head out of the water and, amazingly, that struggling stops. Oh, wow. That's a big turtle.
The front third of them are just pectoral muscle and they're just in their element.
Yeah. That was a real rodeo, a real wrestle. Battle of wills. In the past, every encounter I've had with turtles has been kind of gentle from a distance, and you get to really admire their beauty and their tranquility. Here, it is splash and it is dash.
Right on top of it. Now. Oh, nice catch.
That was a very nice catch.
I feel like I'm suddenly getting the hang of this. I jump in and now it feels natural to feel turtle shell and feel it firmly.
That's a nice fat turtle.
Yeah, it is.
Feeding well.
You're in decent shape, aren't you? While I'm now more relaxed, we've got a decent number of turtles. Now comes the tricky part. We've got to get these turtles up onto the beach and work out exactly what each of them is facing. If you don't mind, I'm going to get some samples. It won't take too long.
What do you think, mate? Let's pop him in there.
Tim has finished making a new home for rescued baby echidna Eddie.
I'm happy with the enclosure. The thermometer's working, the dirt's good, he can burrow in it. But now I want to see if he'll feed. Okay, I'm going to get that kangaroo food. Can you do me a favour? Please grab a container, syringe, 3 ml, a fork, and about 100 ml of hot water.
100 ml hot water.
Thank you. The milk that I'm using is an artificial product that's made for marsupials. It's really important, if you find wildlife, do not give them cow's milk. They can't process it. There are the right type products, and I've got it. So the process here is the same as a wallaby, wombat, possum. It's when I go to feed him that it changes, because there's no bottle, there's no teat, there's no syringe, it's into the palm of the hand. The thing with echidna milk, it's a lot higher in fat. A kangaroo might feed 4 to 6 times a day. Eddie will feed every 3 to 5 to 8 days. So the fat content has to be a lot bigger for him to be able to grow. It's going to be a challenge to get him to eat. But the bigger challenge right now is that thermometer's still at 23 and 22 degrees. The biggest challenge is to get that down. I've got one place in mind in this whole park where I might be able to do that, and I'm going to go there.
All right, good luck with it, Tim.
Thanks, mate. I'll let you know if he feeds.
In North Queensland, Chris is helping the survey team bring the turtles they've caught ashore. This one has a fishing hook snagged in its flipper.
Wow. So he has been caught before, but by fishing line. All right, I might get my kit. See if we can get that out straight away. I knew when I arrived here today that these guys are on the front line when it comes to encountering turtles that are really doing it tough. This girl here is living proof of that. If pollution in the environment weren't a big enough hurdle, now this turtle has had to deal with fishing gear.
You've never seen a vet before, have you? I guarantee that. So it's fairly recent. I mean, there's not a lot of corrosion on the hook. I guess she'll just pop out. There we go. Simple as that.
You can imagine what that would do if it actually was caught in their mouth and they ingested that and down into their crop.
Yep, well, that is certainly better out than in. Right, that's all done. That'll heal up all by itself. So, now we need blood tests, measurements, and a weight.
That's right, and a tag so we can identify again in the future. It's important we get as many numbers as we can, especially for the population dynamics.
Precisely 100 centimetres. I think she's ready for the tag.
Excellent. Just going to feel a little flinch.
Yep.
That's it. That's a good tag. We're in.
Now that she's tagged, each and every time she's caught in the future, we know exactly who she is and really how she's doing. Importantly also, we then know whether the environment is changing.
So that's 102.
So while she's up like this, is it a good time to take the blood test?
Absolutely. There you go.
What happens to these samples after they're taken is actually quite interesting. Some of them go to Florida, some of them end up at the University of Queensland. But the whole idea is to build up a picture of their own individual health, but also they'll be able to analyse whether there are any toxins in the blood and where they're coming from.
Oh, she goes international, doesn't she?
She does go international. Green turtles are a really great indicator of ecosystem health, and so that's why they're so important to this study. Not only because they're endangered at a global scale, but they're able to tell us, like a canary in the coal mine, what's actually happening in our environment.
How you going there?
What is it? This is 73.5 centimetres. But the interesting thing about this is it's our recapture turtle. So that's great. These are the guys that give us growth rates.
So I guess the exciting part for you guys is being able to bleed her again now and get another test done.
Absolutely. Now we can run those samples again and see what changes there were in her chemical load.
Yep.
And see if there are any different chemicals that have appeared as well.
And that tells you if all of a sudden something's begun polluting the area.
That's right, and it also will give us a bit of a temporal scale over time to see if those pollutants are actually changing inside the turtle's body as well.
There you go, mate.
Tim has brought Eddie, the baby echidna, to stay in his office, where it's cool enough to give the rescued puggle a good chance at survival.
You're out and about. I hope that means you're hungry, buddy.
Tim is also anxious to get the little puggle feeding.
Your belly does look thin. This is a crucial stage for Eddie. I don't know if Mum fed him 2 days ago or 8 days ago. And I'm told it's like the flick of a light switch. Either they want to eat or they don't. I hope he does, because it would make me feel better. Now, this is going to be a little different to what you're used to. Here you go, mate. That's the way. Put that tongue out. Echidnas drink from their mum's mammary gland or the skin around. They push against it like this with their beak, and that stimulates the production of milk, and then they lick it up. Hopefully, Eddie plays ball and starts to drink. Oh, drinking. Well done, mate. Look at the tongue. I have never, ever, ever seen that. Tim nosing at it, pushing down. That's just amazing. He mustn't have been fed for a little while because the reaction here, first feed, he's hungry. Keep going, pal, that's better. Now I can give you some more. I could have accepted if he didn't drink today and thought, well, I'll try again tomorrow, but the fact that he has means we're moving forward. Yeah, mate, more? I can't keep up with you. Hello, mate, you're coming up for a breath. Eddie still faces a lot of challenges. He's small, he's got to be kept at a really low temperature, he's got to be fed at irregular intervals, very different than what I'm used to. Unreal, mate. You're a superstar. I'd like to think that Eddie's releasable to the wild at some point, back where he came from. That'll be governed by how the next few months go, how he goes on weaning, if he can integrate into an environment and start to look after himself. Fingers crossed. No, you're doing really well. Keep on going.
Ready? 1, 2.
In North Queensland, Chris is helping a WWF survey team collate information about the green turtles they've caught.
I was proud of catching this one, but now I'm wishing it was a bit smaller.
Last but certainly not least is Chris's monster catch.
I knew the moment my hands touched him out in the ocean that he was a big boy, but probably didn't really realise just how big. 147.5 kilograms.
47.5.
1.5 times my weight.
At nearly 150 kilos, that makes this boy anywhere between 30 and 50 years of age. In that time, it's scary to think how many cyclones, how many boats he's had to dodge. But just to actually be up close to a turtle this age, it's extraordinary.
Okay,
Thank you.
Fast-moving boats, wild weather and fishhooks aren't the only obstacles sea turtles have to deal with.
There's been 200 years of industrialisation, of coastal development, pollution, runoff, human habitation, and it's really important to understand that what you put down your sink, what you put on your garden and what washes off from your land ends up here and ends up in our marine wildlife like turtles.
Some good news, buddy. Time with us is done.
After taking measurements and blood samples, it's time to start releasing the turtles.
See you next time.
See you, buddy. Oh, he's in a hurry.
It was a fantastic day. Look, we got all the turtles we needed, some recaptures, and the recapture was the most important one, so that was fantastic to get that one. One last push.
While I've faced my own challenges today, they're really nothing compared to what these turtles face each and every day out in the wild. Hopefully this testing we've done today and all these samples will make a massive difference to turtles all around the world. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Leave the beach strong and swim off happy.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful scene.
Back home.
No. Don't go eating that. That's how you got here in the first place, eating things you shouldn't. Yoda. I can tell why you ripped up the lounge. Look at you, you're a little naughty boy, aren't you? Naughty boy.
At Sash, Yoda has been on fluids overnight after a nasty bout of vomiting and diarrhoea.
Come on then. Let's have a little look at you and see if you can go home. Oh boy. Yoda's looking much brighter this morning. He seems to have done really well overnight, so I'm going to give him one last check over and hopefully we can send him home. Let's have a little feel. Don't go eating that. Naughty. That feels fine, doesn't it? Hey? Are we much happier? Do you want some food? Hey, should we try some food? Where are you going? What have we got? Gently. Good boy. Is that nice? A little bit more. You ready? Good boy. Much happier, aren't you? Hey? Yoda is so much brighter this morning. He's all wagging his tail and giving me kisses, aren't you? Puppies are pretty good. Like, they can look terrible 1 second and then with the right treatment, they can bounce back really quickly. You know, they feel everything so much more than an adult dog, but I'm really happy with him and I think it's time we get him back to his mom and his brothers and get him home. Yeah? Come on then. Come on. Good boy. Oh, cutie pie.
Yoda has a very excited welcoming committee.
Excited?
was actually really strange not having Yoda at home last night, so we're just excited to be taking him home. But I don't think Yoda has learned his lesson. He's a chewer, so I think he'll keep doing that, but it's going to be up to us to make sure that he doesn't have anything to chew.
Oh, hi. Who are you two? Are you Yoda's brothers?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, look at him. Have you missed him? Give him a kiss. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Do you want to come and see him? You're going to come and say hello? He's not been very well, has he? There you go. Gonna give him a kiss. There you go. Yeah. Oh, big kisses. It's so nice seeing Yoda back with his big brothers. Like, they clearly love him. They're giving him lots of kisses and hugs. It's just the sweetest thing to see, and I'm so happy that I can send him home for more of that.
Well, thank you so very much.
Honestly,
we
my absolute
appreciate
pleasure.
everything that you've done.
Honestly, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Just make sure we don't see him back too soon.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons, anyway.
Exactly. All right.
Come on then, Yoda. On a scale of 1 to 10 of cuteness, I think Yoda is like a 20. He is off the scale cute. I just want to eat him up.
Can't wait to get him home.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Dusek from Bondi Vet. If you love our show and want to see more, plus some amazing content about pets and how to care for them, hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you on our next video.